What's going on, guys? This is Kaishiro. Welcome back. So we are back with another video. On this video, we're going to cover some of the topping lists in Japan. This post 2024 April limit regulation in the OCG format, of course. So we recently had our ban list last week in March 23rd or 24th, if I'm correct. So we now have a different format, and January 2024 format has now gone by. So we are now here at the page of Kaido Willy's Tabletop Community, in our local community page on our community, and I have shared some of the topping lists that I have saw on Twitter or X account, and we are going to cover each deck here. So without further ado, let's start. So moving on, first we have a Yubel. So this Yubel deck was recently supported from the VJump magazine that featured the new Yubel Fusion that is currently getting hype and exposure from the topping decks in the OCG format post ban list, and I cannot really suppress my feeling because this Yubel Fusion was really spiking in price. It is now very expensive, and there's a lot of people that have missed the opportunity to buy this card on low rate because most people didn't really anticipate that Yubel would be really this good. And for me, Yubel is already a top 5 deck in the OCG format right now, post ban list, and I think the Yubel Fusion is phenomenal as well. This is like the new Destroy Phoenix Enforcer that we currently have, because back then DPE is very anonymous for getting splashed and getting used as an engine for many decks in the Tri Brigade and Sword Soul format before. So yeah, now we have a different form of DPE in the place of Yubel, and you only need the field spell of Yubel and the Yubel monsters to make this fusion monster, and it's like DPE. It is very similar to DPE, and it is a very powerful card and sought after right now, and I think many decks will continue to mix this engine on their decks to elevate the ceiling of their decks. And also this Yubel can be more better post Info or Infinite Forbidden because they will get the new support of Fiends from the Fiendsmith. So I think this deck will eventually get even more better. So it's very exciting to see where Yubel will go on the following set because it already looks very solid right now, and I think it will definitely be a top tier status deck moving forward. So yeah, looking on this list, it is very streamlined into Fiend monsters, no? Using the Yubel monsters and also the Unchained engine of Sharvara, and also place the Dark Statue to stun the opponent, and yeah, I think it's very hard to deal against this deck because it has a DPE like monster, and also can play the Dark Barrier Statue, so it can stun and can control the match, and I think it's very pesky to deal against because this deck is very sturdy or tanky to deal against because there's a lot of floating effects on this Yubel, and it is like a better version of Unchained. So I think yeah, it's very hard to deal against this deck, and you don't really have much cards to answer this deck. You need to have Forbidden Droplet and other things like Super Poly or Dark Ruler No More. So yeah, I think it's really hard to defeat this deck right now. And this is the Citron CS 3v3 champion last 31, just yesterday on the Easter. So yeah, looking at this list, it plays the new Erratad effect of Summoner Sorceress. So it's very unusual that we see this card because this card has been fabled to be a very broken card from the previous years, but now we now have it again, and I think Yubel really benefited from the release of Summon Sorcerer. So yeah, moving on, we have 270th Sun CS or the Tayo CS in Japan. So this is a champion list of Labyrinth. So it also plays the Yubel engine. Like I said earlier, it is splashed as an engine like a DPE. So now we have Labyrinth, so another Fiend deck, no? But yeah, it's a controlling one. It plays triple the Black Goat Laps on the main deck. This is very strong for the Labyrinth because they can very much utilize this card on the deck of Labyrinth, and also it plays quite a number of hand traps, but it is not playing Ash Blossom. it played Veiler over Ashe. Maybe because this player wants more avenues to hand trap the opponent and stop the game from snowballing out of control. And yeah, plays Rivalry as well because the deck is streamlined into Fiend monsters. And also Ice Dragon Prison and only 2 transaction rollback. It is quite a debate for Labyrinth players whether they will play 3 rollback or 2 or even 1, because I see many people play Labyrinth with 1 rollback, and some Labyrinth even doesn't play the rollback anymore. But yeah, we now have 2 rollback. Maybe he wants to use the rollback to fetch cards on the trap lineup of this deck. So yeah. And on the side deck, it plays the Mudorano. So you can shuffle monsters on the graveyard. Can be good on certain matchups. But yeah, I think the side deck is really good as well. It played the Field Spell of Labyrinth on the side deck. Maybe he side this card when going first. And also, a lot of trap targets on the side deck like the Barrier and the Ruma Cannon. So yeah, this is a very well executed list from the champion of Sun CS. Next we have Rescue Ace. So this deck is very hot right now. I know March is Fire Prevention Month, but Rescue Ace has been doing really great post ban list. There's a lot of Rescue Ace hype going around right now, and I think many people telegraph this deck as the second best deck just behind Voiceless Voice, or even on the par of Voiceless Voice, because they didn't really get suffocated from the ban list. Rescue Ace has been pretty much stayed the same. It now just plays the Bonfire and the Poplar to make it more consistent, but they didn't really get affected from the Snake Eyes Ashe going into 2. The only setback was the Wanted going into 1, but now they have more rooms on the deck to play. We now have seeing 2 talent on the main deck and 3 droplet, and I think droplet is very strong right now in the format, plays very good against the Voiceless Voice matchup, and also the talent can be very handy because the format is very hand trap oriented. You prevent your cards from getting annihilated from the hand traps, so you have talent to answer back when your opponent does play something like Wailer or Ashe on your turn. So yeah, Rescue Ace has been quite decent, no, from the previous format as well. But now I think Rescue Ace will get to shine before Info, because yeah, I think Rescue Ace has been really that good from the moment that they have gotten the Sinful Spoils and the Snake Eyes package of Bonfire and Poplar. And yeah, I think this list is pretty much streamlined. It doesn't really have anything crazy going on. It plays the Rainforce on the side deck. It is very different from the previous decklist of Rescue Ace that plays the Extinguish on the, rather the Rainforce on the main deck. But now it's only on the side deck. And yeah, it plays Cross Out as well on the side deck. Maybe just to have answers to Maxi and Nibiru on the post game 2 and 3. On the side deck, on the extra deck, it plays double Hita. It only plays 1 Promethean because yeah, I think they can pretty much go over with Promethean and just play something like SP Little Knight to protect their Turbulence from getting negated. So yeah, I think this list is very good right now, and I'm excited for Rescue Ace because they have been overshadowed by Fire King and the Snake Eyes before, but now I think they will have their time to shine. Next we have goodness, what is this? Horus meta beat, no? Horus beatdown rather, because yeah, it looks very cancerous. It plays the Christia to stun the opponent, and also plays Lava Golem on the main deck and Super Poly, because this deck doesn't really have gas to go second, and yeah, you need to have things like Lava Golem and Super Poly just to clear boards on this deck. But going first, this deck is really phenomenal. It plays the Christia as well, and yeah, you can set up terrifying boss monsters on the field like Photon Lord and the Harbinger from the Turbo Rank 8 shenanigans of Horus, and also plays controlling cards like Solemn Judgment and also the Skill Drain, which is very notorious for this deck because you can just beat down your opponent from the high attack value of your Horus cards using the Skill Drain, and you're pretty much unbeatable from that moment. And yeah, only plays 3 hand traps on the main deck, no? Only 3 maxi just to have coup de grace when losing the die roll. And yeah, 2 talents and 2 desires to boost the consistency of the deck because it does really suffer from consistency issues. That's why it plays Trade In and Desires. On the side deck, yeah, it plays 3 Cosmic Cyclone because I think this deck would heavily lose against Runic. The matchup against Runic is pretty much abysmal. So you need to have the Cosmic Cyclone and also place the Spellcaster Village. So it turns off the spell cards on the game, and I think it's very phenomenal on the format right now because most decks rely on spell card, of course. So yeah, you need to have this Floodgate as well on this deck. Next we have the newly innovated Snake Eyes Sinful Spoils Fire King. So it now have 2 Kirin because they have lost 1 copy, and 2 Ash, Snake Eyes Ash, because they also have lost 1 copy, and only 1 wanted right now. So I think the deck suffered from consistency hits, and they would now rely on things like talent to draw cards and have answers to hand traps. And now it plays Prosperity, and now it played Skill Drain on the main deck just to have better control and grasp on the match. So yeah, I think they have lost consistency, but I think this deck is still really okay to play and still very strong because you have talent, and some decks I have saw are playing Upstart Goblin just to boost the consistency of this deck. And you still have Bonfire that can fetch the Poplar, and you now have 2 Ash, and also there's a lot of things going on this deck. It only plays 1 Diabell Star, which it is very unusual because some decks of Fire King plays 3 Diabell Star. But yeah, I think you only need 1 because you have a lot of utility cards like Talent and Prosperity on this deck. And on the side deck is pretty much linear, no? Plays Nibiru, Bell, Ogre, and the Gamma package because I think those hand traps are the best side deck hand traps to play right now. And yeah, I think it's a really redundant feeling to see these cards on the side deck. You can pretty much browse all of the tapping list last week on Japan, and it plays the same amount of hand traps and identical ratios of hand trap on the side deck using this Gamma, Nibiru, Bell, and Ogre. And yeah, I think Ogre is really strong right now just to have answers against Tenpai because Tenpai is a very problematic matchup. You need to have gears to answer the Tenpai, or otherwise you will get OTK'd drastically from their high attack damage output and really good board breaking capacity. Moving on, next we have Snake Eyes. So this deck also got gutted from the ban list. They have now 1 wanted like the Fire King and also 2 Ash as well. But now it plays the triple Diabell Star Witch on the main deck just to boost the consistency, and also plays 2 talents, no, to have more avenues to answer hand traps, of course, and plays double original now. It is the what do you call this? The theory behind my assumptions on how Snake Eyes will cope on the new ban list. They would play double original and triple Diabell Star Witch. So I think it's the correct amount of cards to boost the consistency of this deck. And on the side deck, it plays Trust into the Black Goat. So this is a very powerful combo right now on the side deck because most people are running into hand traps. Of course, they would play Trust, and also they can search the Black Goat to have a better going first capacity on this deck. And yeah, I think the list is really good and pretty much linear. Doesn't really change that much, except for the fact that it plays now more originals and talent just to boost the consistency and draw power, of course. So yeah, moving on, we have Entry Cup 3v3. I believe this is the last deck on our preview here. We have Voiceless Voice. Most people in Japan are tiering the Voiceless Voice as the best deck right now on the format before Info, before the Finsmith. So yeah, I think I would agree with them as well. Most tier lists have shown that Voiceless Voice is the tier 1 deck right now, and I think Voiceless Voice is just that good right now because it plays extremely well against Maxi. You don't really lose that bad against Maxi. On this deck, you can pretty much play around Maxi safely on this deck, and I think it's a very huge asset for the deck the moment that you can nullify the most toxic card in the OCG format and the most notorious card in the OCG format, namely Maxi, you are pretty much telegraphed into a better position on the format because you have better tools to work around Maxi. And yeah, the Voiceless Voice didn't really lose that much. They now have 2 Extravagance, but who cares, no? It plays triple pre-prep and 1 Prosperity as well. And some Voiceless Voice doesn't really play the pot cards anymore. They're playing the Nadir Servant with the Dogmatica package on the deck. So yeah, I think the side deck is pretty much the same. Ogre, and now it plays Droll and the Gamma package as well. And 2 anti-spell on the side deck just to have more lineage to protect your board from getting nuked from different type of spell cards on the side deck. So yeah, I think it sums up our report right now. We now have Voiceless Voice, Yubel, Labyrinth having Yubel, and Rescue Ace getting into the top once again with the Snake Eyes, and Fire King getting a little bit less consistent than before. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. I hope you do learn something from this video, and please like and subscribe my YouTube channel. So I think it really motivates me a lot to see people commenting, subscribing, and liking into my videos. So once again, thank you for watching. See you on the next one. Peace.